We are going to try and do this Mark Morrison Return of the Mack Decode. There is a ton of stuff in here, and we've got 9/11 references, and we've got, I believe, Hoover Dam references as well in here. Maybe not Hoover Dam, but definitely dam references. And I guess I'm just going to get straight into it, because I've already tried to do this video. I've tried to do it a few times now. I actually had it done, and it was over an hour long. And so I'm like, I really want to condense this down. So there's going to be a few, I'm going to have to gloss over quite a lot of stuff in here, because this is absolutely chock full of stuff, okay? So I'm going to gloss over a load of stuff. It would probably be wise, if you're into this video, to go and watch the actual, I'm assuming everybody's kind of familiar with the song already, but go watch the video for it. I'll link it below so you can get to it easy. And yeah, go watch it, because there is a narrative to this video, and it's kind of, you know, if you sit and watch it, it makes more sense, rather than me just picking out certain spots in it. It's not going to be as clear as what's going on, okay? And I may or may not have to do this in actually a couple. I may have to do another video after this, but let's see if I can jam as much as I can into this one, okay? We're starting off the video. We are in London here, Houses of Parliament, Big Ben. We've got a silhouette scene, okay? The idea of the Black Pearl here again, you know, the eclipse. This thing, the idea of it being corrupt, and when has it ever not been corrupt? But the idea of it being corrupt, that's why they've got this thing the way it's set up here, right? Okay? And what's happening is, we're going to have a shot of a Concorde coming into land, okay? Now, I don't want to waffle on about the symbolism with the Concorde, but what we have here is we have an arrowhead-shaped plane, right? It's very arrowhead-shaped, right? And actually, we've had a ton of arrowhead references recently, I think. Number one reference is the Super Bowl, okay? And the Chiefs symbol, the arrowhead, okay? That arrowhead, I believe, one of the metaphors there for that arrowhead is Odysseus shooting. When he returns home, he has to shoot that arrow through those axe handles, okay? I believe actually it's the head of the axe. It's the actual eye that is in the axe head is where he's actually shooting those arrows. But that is the story that we are playing out here with this this arrowhead returning home. You know, when Odysseus finally gets home, that's how he proves who he is. He shoots that arrowhead through the axe handles, okay? What is interesting about using the Concorde is, where is this thing returning from now? Okay? I'll give you a clue. It was the start of the Odyssey, okay? The 2001 event, the 2001 Space Odyssey event took place in New York, you know? The famous run for the Concorde is New York to London in whatever it was, 3 hours, whatever, okay? So that was the famous run, okay? I know they did other runs, and I know it went to Paris and everything, but that's kind of the famous route that Concorde took, okay? So we have it returning from where that event occurred initially in 2001, and now it's coming home, okay? I know it's already mind-blowing, okay? What's going to happen is, though, is this thing's going to come through a skyscraper. So they kind of superimpose this sort of image coming through the skyscraper here. Again, it's telling you, this thing's coming back from 9/11. They're re-referencing 9/11 with this skyscraper. This glass tower here is also referencing the thing that arrowhead's got to shoot through the bullseye, okay? The plane of glass, you know, the hole, the window, That's where it's got to come through, okay? The mirror, if you like, okay? And then they're going to superimpose this gal over the top of it. She's the one playing the Mark Morrison's love interest, which is, again, she is the Matrix in this, okay? She's the divine feminine turned bad, okay? Then we have a nice little, we have some arches here. The arches are super important in this, and again, not only is it a reference to the dam, but it's also a reference to that idea of bridging the two sides of reality again, okay? The one pillar on one side and the other pillar on the other side, the physical and the metaphysical being bridged with the arc, the arch, the Ark of the Covenant. Okay, I don't want to go on about these symbols too much, but I'm just pointing them out, okay? What we've got going on here is we've got a little, this is kind of like a flash forward, actually. And it is kind of interesting the way that this is, hang on a minute, let's back this up just a hair, okay? What we've got going on, actually I want to go forward a little bit. What we've got going on is we've got a vacant seat, okay? And the seat that's vacant, look at the colour, the copper colour, obviously a colour of the blood moon, but the guy is vacant at the minute. The man that's running the show is vacant, okay? So that's the seat that he needs to sit in. Again, that copper colour of the blood moon, I think that's the reference there. The blood moon is representing balance between the moon and the sun. We've got this clock here, okay? We've got this clock and a physical clock and a metaphysical clock. We've got twin clocks here. And we've got two different times on these clocks, okay? We've got a 7 on the physical clock, okay? Which again, that represents man coming back into alignment with the metaphysical, or the metaphysical coming in alignment with man, okay, with the physical realm. Okay, let me show you. No, let me not show you. Okay, I'm just going to talk through it, and then we'll go to my decode chart in a minute. Okay, and then what we've got here, so we've got a 7 here, okay, and we've got on the metaphysical clock, we've got a 5, okay? So the shadow of it is forming a 5. So we've got a 7 here and a 5 here. We've got a 57 or 75, okay? We'll go and just look at that in a minute and what that reference is, okay? Before we get there, we've got what looks to be like a black snooker ball type pool ball thing here. And this is actually the Earth. If you go to the video itself and look at it during the video, you'll see that it's actually like the planet Earth with dark black representing the land, and then light, a more grey colour representing the sea, okay? So what we have here is we have a little version of the Earth, but it's become, what would I want to say? It's become the black pearl almost, you know? It's in the shadow of the moon, right? Again, here, the only thing I can think about this thing is it's a phallus symbol again, and we've got the balls and the wiener, and what's interesting about it is that part of it is in shadow as well, okay? We'll bear that in mind for later on, okay? So this is just like a little flash forward, okay? And then we're going to continue to see the Concorde coming in, okay? And what actually happens here, the Concorde comes into land, and somebody's going to start appearing. So, you know, the idea of coming home is the idea of coming out of the dam, okay, coming out of the matrix. And so what we've got is Mark Morrison coming out of what we've got a V here, which is, again, the V of the valley where the dam is, okay. That V is representing the womb, okay, the V of Eve. He's going to emerge from that now, okay? So he's coming out of there along a long tunnel and into the light, okay? I don't think you'll make that out. And that's what's happening. And immediately he is now, so he's reborn there. And this is going to happen a few more times. Well, I don't know if it happens actually, but it's re-referenced throughout the video, the idea of rebirth, okay? So now he's in the Mercedes again. The Mercedes, the symbol for Mercedes, the Holy Trinity sign, the three legs come into form, one in the center. Again, like Lake Mead, there's three legs on Lake Mead. Okay, but that thing, the Holy Trinity, is trapped behind the dam at that point. Okay, and so we've got him driving around in the silver Merc again. The Mercedes is the Merc, the merchant. Okay, or Mary, the silver moon. Again, we got to use the symbolism and kind of think about the context of what he's doing here. You know, is he trapped in the system or is he using the system now? Okay. And what we've got going on here is we've actually got him with the feminine figure, okay, and she actually is wearing white here, okay. He doesn't have his, he's holding his chain. You'll see this chain later on in the video, and the chain's actually an interesting looking chain. It's a real big heavy chain, and it's got an M on it, okay, the M probably from Mary in this case, and we have basically what looks to be like a Vesica Pisces with a 1 in the center of it. We'll see it later on in the video. You can notice also he's got the upward pyramid triangle here attached to his ear as well. Okay, again, a representation of the physical man. But he doesn't have this chain on yet, but she is still wearing kind of the purer colours of the white moon, okay? What actually happens though through this scene, and it's more interesting to listen to it as well with the lyrics, because the lyrics go along with the song, with the video. Obviously, I mean, they're supposed to, but it helps sort of emphasize what's going on. Hang on a minute, what we've got going on? Here's the Mercedes. And come on. Here we've got some eye symbolism coming over the top of her here. Which eye is this? I'm guessing it's the left eye for the moon. Okay, and then let me show you something that's interesting here as well. So she inevitably starts cheating on him with another man. Notice we've got the Virgin Mary colours behind this, but what we have her is we have her cheating on somebody else, okay, and again that's basically what the Matrix does. It's just a system of the Matrix is just a user, okay, let's leave it at that for now. And interestingly, we have the BMW here. Yeah, BMW, Black Magic Woman. The Black Magic Woman is the Black Pearl. Okay, look at the color of the car, darker grey, rather than he's driving a lighter grey colored Merc around. Okay, so we have her cheating now, caught in the light, and notice that those colours that were behind her were much brighter, and then we're moving forward to her, which is dark. Okay? And if you notice the colours on his car here, we've got they've set the lighting to where it's very blue. Okay? He's got that chain on right now, and it's very, very blue. Okay? That's the hint that he's come back into alignment with the Virgin Mary now, rather than the old crone, okay? You've got to let go of that thing, okay? And if you listen to the lyrics, there's bits about I cried, and then again, of course, crying, the tears of the moon. Crying is the washing away of something that's in your eye, maybe, clearing that debris from within your eye. You know, the one rock that's covering your eye, the moon that's covering the right eye of the sun, and also dealing with that pain as well. So what's interesting is they do some little shots here of him with her again, and they use the snake. They're kind of superimposing the snake in with it. If I can get to the scene where it's sort of a flashback, I think. Come on. Where they show the snake with her. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so we actually have this blur here is the snake, and you'll notice that she has her arm coming out over him, and the snake is coming out here. If I can get a little bit better here. Stop. And we actually have the snake kind of there as well, kind of giving the impression that she's the snake with her arm wrapped around him. Okay. What's interesting is we then flip to this next shot, and he's wearing, what's he done with the snake? He's made a pair of shoes out of the snake, okay? So that's really interesting. He's now moved the snake from being around, you know, being with him, okay? So he's taken the serpent, killed the serpent, and again, I actually, before I forget about it, the 713 is going to come up in here a little bit, okay? And what I want to mention is 713, St. Patrick's Day, and we had a lot of Patrick references, like with Patrick Mahomes. That is the snake killer. Patrick is the snake killer. Yeah, we got rid of all the snakes out of Ireland, St. Patrick, and the 713 is of course St. Patrick's Day. Okay, so this is interesting with killing the snake, and bear that in mind. Hopefully, I don't miss out my 713 reference later on in here, but bear that in mind. Okay, so interesting. That's what he's done to the snake. He's put him down to the lowest possible part of the, you know, he's taken the serpent and put him at the lowest possible part of the whole body. Yeah. Now, this is next level stuff coming up here now, right? Because I want to show you something, right? Here he is. He's almost got the arms out straight here, like the Christ pose, and we've got the chain on, and if you'll notice, the chain now forms the Vesica Pisces, and his head's popping out, okay, and we've got M for Mary, and again, Return of the Mack, as I've said before, MC is Mary, Christ, Mary and Christ, and you can even put an A in the middle of there and make MAC. That is that reference, okay? The M and the C, number 13 and number 3, 133, okay? Or you could do it the other way around, 331, okay? But that's our big reference. This is one of the reasons why Marty is a McFly, okay? And you can kind of make that chain out a little bit better with the one in the middle of the Vesica Pisces there. But I want to show you this, what's behind him, this arc, okay? I don't know if it was this particular shot or a little bit, let's go a little bit further on, it might be a bit easier to see. He also has two other counterparts there. So there's a Holy Trinity going on, okay? That's the 3 reference. No, I'm not going to get to the... Yeah, that's not as good a shot. Hang on, let me backtrack just a second. Okay, well, let's just go with this shot. So this scene is going to flash up a couple more times in this video, so it's important, okay? And what we've got here is, I was looking at this, I think it was a different place in the video, but I was looking at this, and oh, before I forget, it's interesting to look at the times, you know, the different timestamps at where some of these things happen, like if I, hang on a minute, do I dare go back? Let me just talk about this real quick. Like this 10, you see this is flashing up here at the 10, okay, the same scene. In fact, this is the one that I spotted. And if we go back just a hair bit more, where this 10 starts, the vacant seat, okay, and that 57 that was there, let me just show you in my chart now what 57 references. Sorry this is all over the place, but 57 references the metaphysical coming back in alignment with, back in alignment these two things joining together here, okay? So 57 is not only a reference to this 5 and 7 here, which references this column right here. Oh, I'm blowing that down. That references this physical column that's in my chart here. I.e. the 7 and the 5 is pointing towards the 6th column, and the idea of coming back towards being the physical man again, being real again. This is some of the lyrics in the song, actually, being the real man. Okay. So not only is it referencing that, but it's also referencing completion of a cycle. Okay, because in the 10 column, which is the completion of the cycle, 5 is halfway. Okay. We have 157 reference. Okay, and we also have 570. So we can get that 57 right here in the completion of the cycle. Okay, and the completion of the cycle is coming home. Yeah, that's important because we have the Concord coming home in this. Okay, so let's get back to the video here. So anyway, I wanted to go back and just explain that 5-7 and look at where that occurs at 10 seconds in the video. Okay, that is important. And so if we click on, staying on 10 seconds, we merge into. Oh, let me just get right between it here. We get a little snippet of this shot where he emerges later. Okay. This I got this and I'm like, you know, I don't know why, but I just like, holy cow, you know what that looks like? That looks like if I were looking down, if I was stood, see where my cursor is? If I was stood up here on the top of the dam wall and I was looking straight down, this is what I would see, except it would be up the other way. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is, well, hang on a minute, this is the arch of the dam face, okay, the wall. Here's the two legs that come off the bottom of the dam, okay, and this black spot right here would be the Colorado River, okay, and it's interesting that it's black here because the Colorado obviously is named for being the red river, I suppose, the color Colorado, okay, and right here it's still black, which is interesting because later on in this they put a red hinge over the top of this thing. Okay, so that's important to note. And let me show you this picture now, okay, because you'll go, oh yeah, I see what you're talking about. So if we were at the top of the Hoover Dam, this is a picture looking down from the top of the Hoover Dam, you know, this is us stood here, you see my cursor, and we're looking down, and here's the two legs, and here's the Colorado River, okay, and so you see what's going on here. If I was to rotate this now, let's rotate it 180 degrees. Now, can you see what I'm talking about? Here's the top of the archway, here's those two side pillars, and here's this would be black in the other picture, okay, this part of the river, okay? Let's click backwards and forwards so you can have a look, okay? See that? See that? I don't know how to click backwards and forwards between two things easily. Okay, you see that? Is that making sense? I don't know. I think it's looking pretty suspect to me. So that is what I'm talking about. That could be some next level encoding there. For somebody, either it's completely I mean, for the amount of stuff that's in here, I think this is well thought out for sure. It's just nuts. Okay, so we have the dam reference here, and we're going to have him coming through it, and we're going to have a little red tinge to it later on as well. So anyway, where was I at? 108, I think. Okay. And we've got so we've done the snake, and here he's coming. He's actually coming out of that doorway. Well, you can see it here, coming out of the dam there, and this is basically again him being reborn again. So we've just got, you know, multiple references to the rebirth through this whole thing. There he's doing the old Christ pose here, with the arms out, crucifix, the cross. And he's walking into his club. He's back to run the show. You can actually see that chain a little bit better now. with the oval and then the one in the with the center of it, and it also, again, yes, I know it's forming the number 8 as well, which is again important because of course the number 8 is one of those numbers of man, and let's just leave it at that. I don't want to waffle too much, because let's crack on with it, because I'm hopeful I can get this video done real quick. So now we're going to get another little bit of rebirth stuff coming up with the Twin Towers, actually. Let's see if we can get to it. Okay, he's going to give everybody a fist bump. Interesting. What do we get to? Okay, oh, you know what he's going to do? He's putting a new record. He hands over this record to put on, gives it to the DJ to put on, okay? Now, you'll notice this record completely white at the center. We've got the moon, okay, but we've also got the black pearl here as well. And again, that idea of going into the black box, into the matrix again. We are that needle on the record, okay? And that record, what happens is that needle, if you watch my cursor, that needle runs in, it runs in, it runs in, it runs in, it runs in until it's made the complete trip home back to the pure stuff from above, the pure moon, okay, in the center here. So that's an interesting reference there with this particular type voyage, you know, back home to the center of this thing. Okay, there's just more, I mean, it's just absolutely loaded, this video. Anyway, let's get on to some good stuff here now. There she is, the cheetah. And here he is. And look what's going to happen here. Let's have a look. Look who he's dealing with here. His brother has got the, look at the white here, the dove from above again. Okay, the Holy Spirit. Okay. Now, what I want to show you, I almost have to play this bit. Let's back it up with the hair. Okay, so he's about to colour off. Notice that he's putting his finger up. Finis and Forrest just did a video and highlighted this symbolism as well with the obviously this is the erect phallus symbolism. It is also which again is the symbol of physical mankind. Okay, so we've got him doing that. That's to show that he has become the one again. Yeah, the number 1 is that symbol of the physical being, the perfect symbol of the physical man is Jesus. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get to this. This is just going to suck if I can't get this in the right spot. You'll notice right here we've got one of the Twin Towers behind him, okay, because we've got 2 Twin Towers in the background here coming up. There's 2 speakers in this scene. Here's the other one, okay. We've got 2 speakers in the scene which are Twin Towers. You just can't write this stuff, I'm telling you. And what we're going to see is we're going to see him between the 2 Twin Towers in just a second. Hang on. See, he's doing the Christ pose again. Here's the one Twin Tower is here. If we can just go on just one more little second. Oh yeah, there we go. That was it. Here's the other tower. And you'll notice as he's doing the Christ pose, he's got this bright light behind him. Okay. You know, this idea if he is the light again, right? So, oh dear, let's carry on. Anyway, she's just going off. Let's see. Now we're going to move to an even more mental situation. Let's just keep going here. Hang on. Obviously, there's some other little references going on in here. Let me show you. We've got some gals dancing in here. We've got the red of the blood moon, the red of the living blood of the living man coming back into his position in the world. So rather than acting as the fictional birth certificate person in the legal system, the thing that controls your life, all those rules and regulations that are made for that thing, that everybody adheres to because they think it's real law. Now we're moving back to what is made for the living man, which is natural law, which is the Ten Commandments, the laws that are set into physical reality. That's why the Ten Commandments are stone tablets, because it's telling you the stone is the physical reality that the law of God is written into, okay? And we've also got this purple here representing the idea of the king returning, going back on his throne, which he's just about to do. Okay, and there he is in the background with those two. Okay, and let's see, keep going, have a little bit of a dance round, great. Now he's going to enter into the office, yeah? In the office again, we've got a black door on the office, okay? There's a reason why they put that black door on the office, okay? Because that, again, the office space is the fictional realm. So in he's coming. Now we've got this setup now. Pay attention to what we've got going on here, okay? We have two obelisks. We have the Twin Towers right here, okay? We also have that clock that was in the scene earlier, and that is now forming a backwards 10 here. We have these lights here, which are symbols of both the moon, maybe the sun as well, maybe, but I'm thinking it's more the moon, more like eyes, more like Vesica Pisces, that shape, okay? This is the reference here with these two things, okay? So we have the Twin Towers, we have that seat that I talked about earlier. We also have a little, what I would call it's a little box, so it's almost like Pandora's box, and it's covered in seashells, okay? So we have this idea of the mother of pearl, the idea of the divine feminine here, the pure moon, yeah, because the pearl is the pure moon, and then we've got opposite that thing, we've got the black pearl, okay? So again, that's the earth thing that was in the first clip. That is, again, we're talking about the earth being in the matrix, becoming the black pearl, essentially, okay? And what is interesting to note is that black pearl there, look what it's attached to, okay? This is, again, a white chair, okay, and the chair symbolism is dam symbolism, okay? That throne, this throne here is dam symbolism. The back of the chair is the face of the dam. Usually we'd have two arms coming off of here, which would represent those two kind of legs that are coming off of the bottom of the dam there. And then we have the four inlet towers, which are the legs of this chair, okay? Notice the thing's turned around as well, and it's touching the black pearl, okay? And so they've used a white chair here to represent the metaphysical again, and that thing is essentially spiritual in nature, okay? It doesn't really, there's no tangible thing that you can really see. We're just using metaphors to describe it here, okay? We also have a picture frame, kind of reminds me of the dollar bill with the picture frame on the dollar bill. This also forms a bit of a pyramid here, that kind of false pyramid that the matrix becomes. We also have that phallus symbol again with this sort of bendy. I mean, unless I'm missing the point here, and then the two balls at the bottom here. Okay. So again, let's move on. I'm just going to play this because this happens so quickly. Hopefully I can get away with it just a second with this. Okay. There's a flash. Did you see the red flash there? And there's a bright. Let's go back. You see how that's a sort of. That's more of a pinkish tinge, pinkish reddish tinge, and immediately that chair has disappeared and Mark has appeared. The dam has disappeared and Mark, yeah, the Mack, return of the Mack has appeared. Okay, that is important. Okay, again, we've got, you know, we've got him, you know, closer to this object now rather than this object. You know, even though these are opposing one another, this is, if you just look, he's more attached to this thing now. Okay, it's subtle, but that's to represent him coming back into balance with the spiritual, right? Or the spiritual coming back in alignment with the physical. It's the same thing. Okay, and what we're going to have, actually I might be able to just fast forward here now. We're going to have her now coming in. So she's going to come through the doorway and have a chat to him. Here's the seats back again, and look at this. We've got the one obelisk phallus symbol right at that point of the Vesica Pisces. Okay, because actually the Vesica Pisces, you know, is that balance point between the two different realms. Yeah, it is the point of the mirror, if you like. You know, that's where we need to be at. We actually need to be right at that gateway so we can see both sides of reality. Okay, so we don't get sucked into the metaphysical. Okay, but we can be right there at the window, right? And again, this is what this is showing. It's right at that point. Okay, it's not stuck inside the matrix. It's right at the window, right? Again, here's the chair. She's going to come and she is going to show you the dam symbolism here. Hang on a minute. There he is. See how this is detached from him now? This black pearl. And you can't actually tell right here that this is kind of the earth symbolism. It just looks like the black pearl. I think it's the same. I mean, obviously I think it's the same ball, but it just looks completely black. Okay? Here's the shells. Again, this was important with Diana, because Diana's coat of arms, the 3 seashells, you know, that reference in Demolition Man to the 3 seashells and wiping your butt. Okay, the idea of the plumbing, the throne, the plumbing where we need to come out of. Yeah, the thing that Elvis died on. I mean, you could just, oh boy, I could just talk for hours. She's going to turn that thing around and sit on it. Look at her. She's showing you that she is the dam here with this thing turned around. Interesting. What else do I want to talk about here? Look at the way that they've got the kind of Vesica Pisces moon symbolism behind her again here as well. And she's actually talking here, singing, sort of talking, singing her little bit of the song here. She's saying, "I need a real man." Okay. And that's really, and actually she mentions something about a big break as well. We'll go to the lyrics in a little bit, but this is the point that she's doing that. She's using language, okay? And this is important that they've got this with the moon here, because when you look into how the Matrix controls us, it's all through language, okay? I know there are people out there doing physical harm to other people as well, but that is initiated through the language that the Matrix uses. This is important, again. Anyway, basically he's going to kick her out, basically. He's got his 2 counterparts there. I don't know what else to really say about this. I think the time is different on here. I'm not sure really what to make of the time. There were some other times that I could pick out of the first clock as well, so I don't know. I think actually the number that I came up with for the time on this, and this links back to what I was going to tell you that I was talking about earlier, was the 713. That 713 I think is what is on the clock here, and the 713 is, let me go to this and I can show you real quick. The 713, instead of brushes, crack on down, crack on. We can get this thing done. Yeah, that's the right size. Let's go. So the 713, okay, which is important in the table. Let me just go to that real quick to show you. It's important in the table. It shows up so many places. Right above our 59 number, I'm going to be losing some people now, but this 59 number, I believe, could be a possible date for the Hoover Dam. As to could be the 20th of March could also be a date. And so this 713 shows up around significant dates. And of course, the 713, and it also shows up right here as well, is pointing towards a corner here of this, in this, you know what, I'm going to save this, but it's pointing towards this 53, and we'll come back and talk about this in just a minute when I can scribble over the top of it, okay? So the 713 is, if you flip those things around, is the lie, okay? But you also have to remember the 713 is also L, okay, with the 1, okay? So this is really what we're aiming for here, and we don't want to get twist turn upside down, like Will Smith, and end up in the lie, right? So that is important because it's the same, again, we're using the same symbols, but depending on the way we're looking at them in which context depends on what it's trying to tell you, okay? You know, you've either got truth right here, or you've got a lie, okay? So the matrix is a lie and the truth is God. It's not difficult to figure this stuff out. Okay, we have that on the clock there. Good job, I remember. Right, okay, hang on a minute. So anyway, he's going to kick her out basically. And we're almost really to the end of it. Okay, you saw the little disappearing act there, and to be quite honest, I think I've missed out the one spot where that red, there's another spot with a red glow, but we've talked about this, and you know, the problem is with this box, is once you open that box, once you open Pandora's box, you unleash the black pearl, okay? That's why they've got them opposite each other there. And notice she is covering up that, again, that little symbol there with the black pearl, the earth, the strong black. She's covering that up, and notice she's silhouetted here, you know. And this is basically telling him, I've gone back to Mary, bugger off, okay? That's what's going on, okay? I'm trying to think what else I'm missing here. Okay, there we go. Good old Mark Morrison. Okay, MM. 1313 is also another reference to Mack. And here we are. We've got him back, dancing in front of the Twin Towers again. Okay, so he's back. The Twin Towers are back. Okay, and we've got we've got these colours popping up again, and we've got a yellow in here now as well for the sun. Okay, resurrected. Okay. So I mean, it's a pretty deep video, I think. As for length, 44. It's actually, if you go to the actual thing, you can actually look at the length of it, and we can have a quick juicy gander at the lyrics. Let's go through the lyrics very, very quickly. Because, of course, the lie, you lied to me, is part of the chorus running through that thing. So that's important, that idea of the lie, the fake matrix, okay? And that creates, you know, we create our own false ego as well. That's the thing that we have to let go of. The false ego is like mini-me, and then the matrix is like Dr. Evil, okay? So that's what we've got going on there. You know, notice they use the shaved head like the egg head, like the ego, the ego, okay? There's also referencing to crying, with her obviously tears and water flowing. We've got references to plumbing here, or at least some kind of water movement with pump up the world, watch my flow. You know, you can go through these and read them yourself and kind of figure out some of this stuff. This is his comeback song, Coming Back Home, okay? What else do I want to say? Oh, this is the bit where she sings, stop lying about your big break, okay? The big break is the dam breaking open, okay? And then the real man, okay, she needs a, for God's sake, I need a real man. And that's what actually needs to control the system. A man that's in line with natural law, okay? That's the only guy that's going to, the living man is the only man that is going to balance that thing correctly. Stop putting me down twice. Stop putting me down, okay? That's what she's saying. Stop putting me down. Yeah, the dam coming down, all right? And we've got stuff like I died for you, and again cried again, and wants my pearl. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. I don't really want to go over it too much, but Return of the Mack. Okay? You'll see, if you now start looking for stuff with the Mack, you'll see references to the Mack. You know, the Big Mack. L Big Mack. Okay? That's why they have that big scene in discussing it in Pulp Fiction. The Big Mack. And the quarter pounder, again, the quarter pounder, the 1/4, where, you know, King Charles's birthday is, again, 11/14. The 14 is the N at the middle of the status square, and that N represents the upward arrow and the downward arrow together, okay? What else about the N? What else about the Mack? Oh, the 14 as well. 1/14 is when the Queen, 114 days left in the year, the Queen dies. That's significant as well. And in fact, she dies 140 days from her birthday. I think it's 140 days on. So we've got that 14 showing up again, the same as the 14, the 10:04 on the clock tower. Okay. So again, the quarter pounder with cheese. Okay. You know, Le Royale is Le Royale, okay? I'm getting sidetracked. But the Mack, I mean, I'm just thinking Bananarama video here. There's a Bananarama video that I've been wanting to do a decode on as well, called Summer. Go watch that video. It's got all the bits and bobs in it that we've talked about here. And it's got a lot of other stuff in it as well. But, you know, the triple goddess in that video ends up with the guy driving the Mack truck, the Return of the Mack. So the Mack, let me go to Gemartinator so we can have a quick beauty gander at what the hell they've got going, you know, is this what, oh no, that's it, no, I don't want that one. Okay, so I've got this stuff in the Gemartinator. Interestingly, Mark Morrison's got a 164, which ties in back to Madonna, because 164 is going across, okay, right here. So in the dartboard, this is important because this is Madonna, this is Elvis. This ties back into, he's using this 143, he's using the 43 in the song. Let me show you. Hang on a minute, where do I want to go to? Go to the song, 43. Release date, March the 4th. The 4th of March. So there's the 43. Length, 434. Okay? So that's pretty nuts as well. We've even got a nice little reference to the 72. Because again, the 72, when we go back to the dartboard, let me show you. When we're coming across this way, okay, so he's using these numbers of pi here, or completion again. With his 164 that's in his gematria, and again, here's the 72 down here, forming this cross across here, okay? And of course, we've got Christ's birthday at the top here, condensed version of that. So this is important, and of course, from 172 we go into 173 or 371 or 713, okay? Back to L, the 1 is going back to L. The 1 is joining with L, okay? That's the important thing about that number, okay? And when it's used in reverse, it becomes the line. What else did I want to show you? I just want to talk about, let's go to, so we've done all this, and let me remind you, M for Mary, okay? It's the V here, okay? and the twin towers, both sides of reality balance with the metaphysical, if you like, the metaphysical balance of both sides of reality. Okay, and then we have the C, for Christ. Okay, and we can stick an A in there if we want, but this is 13. Okay, and this is 3. Okay, this is important. 1, 3, 3. Let me go to the table now and we'll show you this chart. Right. Now I can draw on this a little bit. Let's go to red and make red better. Now, for new people, please just go watch this video right here. That'll explain this chart. For old people, we have a cross in the middle of this table. Actually, I should be drawing this in blue because it's the St. Andrew's cross. Right now we've got the St. Patrick's cross, right? That's pretty good as well. Killing the snake, okay? Again, we are looking at, see, this is pointing this way, this 713 at the bottom, and this 713 here is pointing this way as well, towards this 53 down here, okay? But what I want to point you to is this side of this cross, okay? And we know, I've already talked about this in other videos, so I don't want to go into it now, but we've dealt with this part of the cross already, okay? So let's talk about what we've got going on down here now, okay? Let me get rid of that mess, so we can actually look at what we're looking at. So firstly, we've got the 3, and then again, we're going to the center point between these two, between this 11. So we've got the 3, and the 1 here, okay? Interesting, because again, this is our MC reference here, 13 and 3, okay? So this is M here and C here, okay? MC, right? So that's the first interesting thing about this line. We definitely have that with the thing. Now, Mark Morrison's birthday is the 3rd of May, okay? So this is super interesting, the 3rd of May, unbelievable. And I'll tell you something, that is the 123rd day of the year right here in our completion, cycle completion column, okay? With that 57 that's on the clock, right? So that is important. Let's crack that off out of the way a minute. So this 53, another interesting about this 53, we're going to use one of these 1s here with it, okay? So again, we have the 123, which is, again, referencing back to this. So for these numbers here, so that's nuts. And then we also have this 130, sorry, what am I saying? I was just going to insert this and read it backwards, okay? And what that comes up with is 315. And the 315th day of the year is 11/11. So again, we're talking about balance here. And for people who watch my channel all the time, I've discussed this number being within the dollar bill, and again, the 11/11, which is pure balance. Again, look what we've got. We've got 4 pillars. The same as that was on the clock tower, okay, and the same that was inside the Hoover Dam. We've got 2 inlet towers as you look down on it. Okay, I don't think you can see that, it might be too scribbly, but that is that symbolism there. So 315th day of the year. Also, what's interesting is, if we take this as a date right here, February the 13th, okay, and we add up 4, 7, 11, 18, 29, 47, 76, and 123, we will come up with 315, okay? And when we come up with 315, and we go from, let me get rid of this stuff, because otherwise you can only delete so far back with this thing. So when you go 315 days from this date right here, okay, the 13th of February, you will end up at Christmas. Okay, so that is important. When you do that jump there, it takes you to Christmas. Okay, the 25th of December. Another interesting thing about this 53 and the 53, and obviously the 35 of Elvis's birthday, basically the design that's on the dollar bill. The Hoover Dam is dedicated that year. So, I mean, this is super important reference right here. I'll show you something else as well. What we've got going on here is this idea of twins going on here as well. Okay, because 53, if I draw a 53 here, okay, now if we were to mirror that, right, and I was to go like this, okay, we have 23. 23 is a mirror of 53, okay, there's a mirror line in here between these two. Okay, so that is also important symbolism there as well. And just nuts, basically. Now, what else do I want to tell you about this? I think I'm going to leave it there, because I bet this video is already blown 40 minutes long now. There really wasn't too much more that I wanted to show you. It's really that connection with the Mack being Mary and Christ reunited, okay? Those two things coming together, okay? The metaphysical, yeah, this is Mary right here, okay? And this is Christ, okay? That's Tower 1, well, Tower 2, Tower 1, okay? Those two things coming back together, okay? And remember that that one World Trade Center thing that they've got there now, those two things are intertwined, okay? They're not perfect reflections of one another. They've become entangled, which is control, okay? That's what the serpent does. It winds its way around its prey, you know. You know the idea there? That's what's happened there, okay? So, I don't know. Was there anything else? Let's have a quick look. I've covered his birthday. I've covered this stuff. The 72 covered. Look at this. Look at the US single cover. Look at this. The sun, right eye, looking through the silver ring. Okay. The control system right here. The handcuff. Okay. You know, I mean, does that need explaining? Okay. We've covered that. We've covered the gematria. Was there anything interesting else with gematria? We do have an 83 in here, and we do have a 38. And again, that is the year that the Hoover Dam, the spillways, the Hoover Dam was full, and the spillways, the water came over the dam essentially. So I think that's an important reference there. But that's it. No, I'm done. We've looked at the day of the year. That's his birthday there, 123rd day of the year, the 3rd of May. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Okay, I hope that was pretty reasonable and not all over the place. And I'll catch you on the next one. I'm going to do a Madonna one if I've got time here in a minute. Hopefully this video comes out right, because that last one, man, the audio was just so messed up. Anyway, I'll catch you later. Cheers. Bye.